right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all and happy Tuesday. Let's hope today is a little bit more exciting than yesterday. Yesterday was pretty damn slow, and today is looking like it's probably going to be equally as slow. I mean, things are going to start to pick up as we go into the end of the week. We have obviously we've got non-farm payroll and we have non-farm payroll. We have ADP non-farm tomorrow. So private sector, jobs report tomorrow. ISM manufacturing data on Thursday. So, hopefully things will pick up a little bit. But this is like I've been telling you guys, this is like the worst. This is a worst week to be in front of the computer, and it's horrible because it's like can't really. I know me personally, I can't. My kid's already in school, so I can't take this week off, and and so I'm just kind of stuck here. And I know obviously a lot of you guys are too, because that's why you're listening in right now. So we just have to power through it. All right, and really, this is the type of market where you just don't want to get in a lot of trouble. You don't want to you don't want to get too upside down on any particular trade or anything. All right, so here's the euro dollar, and we're going to do our analysis as we normally do. And the thing about the euro, and this is just an hourly. I mean, I can step out to the daily. Had a bit of a doji yesterday, and we're seeing a little downside follow through. Here's your 4-hour, and here's your hourly. Now, things are pretty much the same as they were yesterday. I'm just going to make a slight adjustment. Okay, I'll just do this. Same type of thing. Let's move that over here. Let's move this over here. All right. Okay. Okay. So if you look at this hourly in the euro dollar, okay, to me it looks like we have a bearish wedge developing in the euro. So what that tells me is we're probably going to see these, this low first. Now, if you don't recall, if you don't recall the comments from yesterday regarding the euro, let me go ahead and revisit that. All right. So yesterday we talked about the 618 holding, which it did. Okay, but we thought a more viable target in the euro dollar would be the bigger 618. So the bigger 618 is the you can see it's a 786 of this move, a 618 of this move. That's confluence, right? See how those fib levels are right on top of each other? You can see it, right? Okay. They're right on top of each other. Now, we drew this red line here yesterday because we were like, well, if the euro dollar comes down and it plows through the lows here, you could say, all right, well, we push through the lows, knock out those stops, and then bounce. So that's why I still think that 111.10 is a viable target for the euro dollar. Okay, 111.10. That should be key support today. All right. Now, resistance, if we get any rally out of this, this is a bearish wedge, by the way. This is a bearish wedge. What makes it a bearish wedge? This is some basic training for you guys. What makes it a bearish wedge? Consistent lows. Consistent lows and lower highs. Consistent lows, lower highs make it a bearish wedge. Now, does that mean it's going to break down? It's going to have a bearish breakdown? No. But that means that there's a higher probability of a downside break. So if I had to throw a number at it, I would say, well, there's probably a 60-65% chance that we break lower, 35 or 40% chance we break higher, right? So does it guarantee we're going to break lower? No. uh, it doesn't mean that we're going to break lower, but there's a higher probability of us breaking lower. All right. So if we break down, 111.10 should offer you some support. So if you're short the euro, that is a place to possibly get long. Now, if you can get short, the euro, or if we get a rally and you can get short at 112.40, is that what we had yesterday? 40. That's the place to do it. I don't know if we're going to get up there, but if we do, that's the place to be short. Now, I'm going to put it back in a bearish trend just because last week we had it at back in a range, but the significance here, is that we ended up rejecting this trend line again. Obviously, following Jackson Hole, the dollar strengthened, and so that put the bearish trend back intact. Now, you might say, well, is it, why isn't it more of a range? Well, we are in a big range, but if we're at the upper end of the range and we're pushing back down towards the lower end of the range, it should be bearish between now where 111, 112, probably back down to the 108 to 106 level sometime over the next couple of months. All right. Does that guarantee that we're going to get down there? No, not necessarily, but that's that's the way I think you should be playing it, is probably on the short side of this range here, back down. Okay. Now let's take a look at the cable. So the pound, same deal as the euro dollar. The only problem that we have with the pound, and why did this come in all jacked up? Oh, that would be the reason why. Okay. So yesterday we were saying the same thing basically. Hey, it dipped down to the 618, which is 130.20, would be good support. Any rally back to 131.60 would be good resistance, and that looks pretty much the same thing. I mean, all we got to do, you know what? Let's just delete that. I'm going to redraw this stuff rather than try to move these lines. It's just easier just to redraw them all. So I know we're spiking up right now, but if we get a move back down to 130.25, 130.20, that would be good for longs. And then if we can get up here to the what we call the sell zone, that's the big yellow box or orange peach, whatever color box that is. That's the sell zone right there. If we can get up to there, that's great. So 131.60. 130.20, and while we're below 135, it's still bearish. Remember, 135 is the reason why it's constantly bearish is we are below that support. We're just consolidating down there. So all right, but look at the cable. I wonder why the pound's spiking up. I don't know why the euro pound's spiking higher. Oh, EU Commission's action could threaten Europe's business climate, spirit of U.S. / economic Euro economic partnership. Treasury official. Ooh, that same U.S. Treasury official says the EU Commission's actions could threaten to undermine foreign investment. Hmm. Okay. Anyway. Um, so there's the pound. Let's go over to the Swissy. So here's the Swissy. It's not doing anything. So, you know the thing about the Swissy here, we made it above the 618. We were supported where we thought we were going to be supported. We drew this yesterday. The 618 we broke, but we're not really breaking. Frankly, I don't even know what to do with the Swissy right now. Honestly, looking at it, it's like, what do you do with it now? You know, after the inverted head and shoulder pattern, you know, what do you actually do with the Swissy at this point? I don't have an answer for you. It's okay, by the way, to look at a currency pair and say, I don't know. Because I'm looking at the Swissy right now and I'm just telling you, I don't know. Obviously, this is going to be support here. We're going to find support ahead of that, but this 97.65 seems pretty important for bulls at the moment. You know, that yellow line. But if we keep doing what we're doing, I mean, you know, do we eventually make our way to this horizontal resistance, I guess? Which is up here. At 98.45, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to write it down. I don't think they're really great support and resistance levels in the Swissy at the moment. All right, let's continue on. Next says the EU has ruled that Apple must pay 13 billion back tax to Ireland. The 1% tax they were asked to pay by Irish government was deemed to be illegal. Preferential treatment amounts to government subsidy. I knew that. I knew Apple was down. I wasn't sure if it was to the EU or Ireland. So it is to Ireland, Nick? Okay, well maybe that's what's helping the cable. Perhaps. Because I know Apple's down pre-market because of this. You guys haven't seen Apple. Apple's down. We closed at 106. We spiked down to 103.50, back up to 105 and change. Maybe that is influencing the cable a little bit. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, thanks. All right, so here's the Swissy. Let's continue on. Here's the yen. With the yen. All right, so the yen, this is going to be a key resistance level. Now, if you don't remember from yesterday, this is, you can see all the horizontal resistance here. That comes in at this 102. We had it written down at like 102.60. We have a 38% retracement at 102.52. So we're going to write down 102.60 is resistance, but you know, one of the other things, this is an hourly, right? Okay, hold on. Let me just write this down. Take a look at this. Grab a pen. All right, so we're heading up to this 102.60, right? Is this relative strength? Man, that is divergent as all get out too. That's, to me, pretty tempting to short. Um, I don't necessarily know that I would short the dollar yen though. You know, I'm always all about shorting the New Zealand yen. Hmm. Maybe the Canadian yen? Maybe the Aussie yen? Not yet. But I don't know. I'm just looking at that dollar yen. I don't know if I would trust it up here. All right. Anyway, supports at 101.80. Actually, that's bearish. Sorry. We're still in a bearish trend. And by the way, the dollar yen, we close in on this 10 basically 103.50 to 104 area. The dollar yen, I will start looking for shorts up there. All right. So that was dollar Swiss, dollar yen. Let's take a look at the Canadian. So here's the Canadian. No, I don't own it. Um, yes, I should own it, but I don't. I if you guys missed the announcement from the last few days, I want to go back into kind of my thought process here. So 2 weeks ago, or a week or two ago, we were looking at this, right? We were looking at this pennant and we're going, man, that looks pretty bearish. All right, we're finally breaking down here. Looks pretty bearish. But the one thing that I think the market failed to see is they failed to see this. And so what we did is we came down and hit that trend line and bounced. And I think what's happening right now is it's catching a lot of people on the short side. They were short, thinking, "Oh man, the Canadian's going to rip here." You know, the crude oil so strong. We're going to bounce back in crude, and people got long the Canadian currency, and now they're finding that thing right up in their face. We just had an AB equals CD type of move, right? AB equals CD type of move. And here's the thing. Okay. We stalled. Oh, we're stalling ahead of, actually, that's 618. Man, that's going to be some resistance today. This AB equals CD held, but I don't know. It looks like we're gonna make a push for 130.65. I actually want to be long the dollar Canadian. I'm short the Aussie. I'm short the Kiwi. I really would like to be short the Canadian currency. I'm just not right now. Anyway, a dip, just same type of deal. A dip down to 129.70 would be a godsend, in my opinion. It would be the Greek gods singing to you. And I don't feel like singing the Greek gods this morning, but you know how they sound. David said, "Go on, Blake." No. No, I can't do it. You know what it is? You know what it is? It's I'm at that point of the year that I am sick and tired of getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Time change is coming up for me in about 2 months, and I can't wait. Once I start getting
Does that help?
painful, painful, painful,
Sorry.
brutal, Kim.
Sorry.
Yeah. All
All right.
right, all right. Thanks, Kim. I think. Thanks. Anyway, uh, yeah. Once I can start getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, my life will be a lot better. Beginning of November, for sure. All right. Anyway, there's the Canadian, and I'm going to leave you with that. All right. When I come back, we're going to finish up with the Kiwi, Aussie, dollar index, all that fun stuff. So don't go anywhere. See you back in here in a few minutes. Thanks, guys. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back as the market's just flying all over the place. Just kidding. There's nothing going on. All right. All right. Let's get back to the analysis. There's the New Zealand dollar. As you see, the New Zealand dollar is trying to do a bear flag pattern, moving lower. Yes, I was on Monsters Inc., the movie. All right, so we have a possible bear flag pattern. Obviously we'd have to. That's right. Okay, so I think what's going to be key is if we can break this support, okay, which will then accelerate the move lower. 72.10, pump 72.10. That is key. Resistance at what did what did I write down for resistance yesterday? What did we write down for resistance yesterday for the Kiwi? Did we write 75.70? Scott says 75.70. Is that right? So we went as high as 70 or 72.70, 72.70 rather. So we went as high as 72.63, 65. Pretty close. All right, so that's resistance now. 72.65. Okay. We are in a range. Let's take a look at the Aussie. Because nothing's changed here with the Kiwi. Just remember, we're at the upper end of this channel. Looks like we're going to make a push down. We break through this 72 cent level. I might actually add back, Kiwi short that I'm short. Maybe. All right, let's go over to the Aussie. So the Aussie, similar situation to yesterday. Previous support, current resistance, that comes in at 75.85. We went as high as 75.81. So 75.85. Oh, Larry says it was 72.65 was what we wrote down yesterday. Well, we were pretty damn close. 2 pips off on the Kiwi. That's not bad. Not bad in a slow market. Um, the I got forwarded analysis from the guy, one of the guys at FXCM said, "Oh, we broke a 3-month trend line." I guess we did, right? Uh, May, end of May, all of June, July, August. I mean, you know, I guess we did cleanly, but we broke a multi-month trend line, so that's obviously keeping some downside pressure on the Aussie. So really, support is at 75 and a quarter. If we break that, I would not mind adding 7525 support. Let's take a look at the dollar index. Hmm. 50% retracement. Boy, that's holding us, isn't it? You got a 200 period moving average on the 4-hour. You got this 50% retracement. That's 95.85. But if that thing cracks, here I'm going to write down two levels, 95.85. But if that breaks, then 96 and a quarter is the 618. Okay, we're in a range. Support. I'm just going to write down 95.45 near term. Because I don't see us getting down here today. We may, but I don't see it on a day like today. So, I mean, 95.45 is support. All right. Let's take a look at the peso. Hey, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. All right, so here's the peso. So the peso hit that previous support, current resistance, and that's now key. So whatever these highs are, 1866, and then it looks like we could get a dip down to 1846. Okay, so 1866, 1846. Oops. Oops. Okay. All right. We're in a range here. Let's go into the, oops, excuse me real quick. Let me drink my coffee. Since I almost spilled it. All right, let's go over to the Norwegian krona. So the Norwegian krona, yesterday we were looking for a dip to 826. We got a dip to 826.80, so I missed that one by a few. I have a bid, actually. I need to cancel that. I had a bid for that one. I actually just canceled it. It was sitting out there all day yesterday. 826 is support. resistance. I remember yesterday we were trying to figure out where good resistance was for the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. To me, it seemed like the this support here, that support there. But I really think that if it gets going, we can actually make it all the way up to the 618, which is all this support here through here, right? Looks somewhere more like that. So maybe up towards 842. It's pretty buoyant. We were back in our range. We were from being, trying to be bearish here, back into the range because we created a lot of false breakdowns in the Norwegian krona last week. So let's take a look at the Swedish krona. We are at a 50% retracement right now. $618 looks doable. That's going to be at 8. I'm just going to say 855. Especially if the euro breaks lower. If the euro breaks down to 111.10, the Swedish krona should head up here. Support right now is this point, which is 842. And we are in a range. Okay, so there you go. Your bias chart is done. Let me see if I can take some of your comments this morning. Andy said, Bullard.